Hello, and welcome to our Yoga for the Creative Soul book club gathering. Today, we're beginning at the beginning, starting at the first part of chapter 1. So we'll be looking at intention setting today and some visioning of the future self. Many years ago, I heard it said, a very wise person describing the future self as an image, a vision, a beingness that we fling forward from our current thoughts and then live into that person via that trajectory. So in other words, when we are thinking of where we're headed, of our goals and intentions, of our future selves, we are in the moment consciously creating a future. And what that begins to do is crystallize the intentions and magnetize the forces that are required, the insights, the lessons, the people we need to encounter, the exact right things we need to hear at the exact right times in order for us to live into that person. So in many ways, through our intentions, we are co-creating reality with the magic of life. And so before we get into anything else, just very quickly write down, why are you here? Why are you a part of this book club? And that's it. That's all the time you get for that. You could write an essay, right? You could write a novel about why you're here, but super quick. Why are you here? And then let us move directly into practice. Some days we feel more centered, vital, creative than other days. Some days we feel more thready, less substantial, maybe more weepy, sadder, less secure, negative, so to speak. You know, sometimes the naysayers are very loud in the mind. And so let's just create a bit of distance from whatever temporary state is flowing through us today. And we'll begin to create that distance by coming home to the body. Just feeling your way into yourself, and you can go top down or bottom up. Many of us are thinkers, and it's useful sometimes to bring all that head energy down, just feeling the scalp relax, imagining relaxation in the place where the skull meets the spine, the base of the skull, and sending that awareness down the back. Noticing the face, forehead, sense in the eyes, ears, nasal passage, mouth, throat. Noticing across the neck and over the shoulders. Down the arms and hands. Chest, vital organs, abdomen, digestive organs, pelvis, pelvic organs. Noticing upper back, muscles between the shoulder blades, lower back, adrenals, kidneys, sacrum, sitting bones, legs, feet. Any of those places that drew extra awareness, give them an extra breath or two. intentionally breathing certain qualities of prana, whether that's color, virtue, felt sense, ease. Acknowledge a more immediate intention. So you acknowledged why you're part of the book club, but acknowledge now, what's your intention for being here today? With 3 more complete breaths, fill yourself with a sense of meeting that intention, or that life force energy dissolving obstacles between you and that intention. We'll come home to the body a little more completely with movement. You can reach your arms up, 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 feeling height. If you want to stand for this, of course you're welcome to stand, spreading the fingers and wiggling them, likewise toes, and then turn it into a side bend. One way. Rolling out any of the joints that want to roll out, micro adjustments, major adjustments, side bending the other way. And spreading your wings, turning it into a twist. Twisting through the soft tissues, through the ribs, all the way around with the eyes, stretching the eyes, and then spreading those wings again, wide open arms, and twisting the other way. Thinking of the entire length of the spine and imagining an even twist through all those sets of vertebrae. Stretching those eyes around as well. Returning to center when you're ready. And a few cleansing breaths of appreciation. Welcoming yourself to the moment, to your body, to breath. Yes. Inviting connection with who you truly are. As we're talking about intention today, intention guides energy, intention guides outcomes. When we hold ourselves anchored in an intention, we can imagine that the forces of the universe are called in to that intentionality, that all potential conspires with us to create the outcomes that we are seeking. We sometimes talk about the difference between intentions and goals. Those of you who've gone through the comprehensive yoga therapy training, you've had lots of education with me about SMART goals and the importance of knowing in precise ways what action steps are we taking to transform life. It's something that I do in my counseling practice as well. We need to know what those concrete steps are so that we can gauge, am I moving in the direction that I wish to go? Am I taking action on behalf of my desires, my soul, my sankalpa, intention? But the intention itself lives in this higher realm. We think about what the Upanishads teach us about the nature of the soul, the nature of life, existence, cosmos. We can understand that intention lives in a subtle realm, lives in a unitive realm where all things are possible. So as the intention has its own intelligence, its own way of bringing itself forth, we're plugging into a power beyond that human action-oriented goals sense. That in fact, surrender rather than action is part of allowing an intention to come to fruition. As we're thinking about sankalpa, a Sanskrit word that loosely translated would be intention perhaps, and then depends on how your Sanskrit translation goes. It's sam or it's san, and translators just fall on one side of that fence or the other. But that prefix means with, or together, or wholly, W-H-O-L-L-Y, like fully, comprehensively, our whole person, 5 kosha self. And the kalpa, it's different definitions there. Could mean the true path, or to frame, invent, imagine, compose. So maybe we're thinking of sankalpa, the subtle intention, as whole composition, creating through the physical self, through the energy, chakras, pranavayus, through the monkey mind, the thoughts and feelings, through the objective witness, or the more permanent aspect of ourself, and through the soul, our individual soul, unitive reality. So thinking of that higher intention, sankalpa, write down, as you just wrote down, what's my intention for being part of the, or what's my goal, what's my intention, why am I in the book club? Now write down, what is a current intention that you are living? This can relate to your creative self, to your mental health, those aspects of the Yoga for the Creative Soul book club that we're really focusing on. Or it can be something that's offside of the book club, but relevant because it's you. What is an intention that you are living right now? And as you bring that wholly into frame, together with all parts of your being, depict it creatively. Scribble it, draw it, sing it, whistle it, dance it. Apply your expressive modality of the day, and in some way, depict that sankalpa. What are you making whole, vital within you right now? And in this way, you may be expressing a vision of your future self, of this intention when it's realized. And we'll take a couple of minutes for that. Once you've had the chance to express that vision of your intention, vision of your future self, add to the expression where you are standing right now. Your right now self can relate to the intention, to the future self that you just depicted. It can be on its own, but we want them, if you're drawing, we want them on the same page. If you're sounding, we want them somehow relating to the sound that you were making. Future, done. Present, depict, express. yourself a moment to put the finishing touches on that. The thing is, currently, we must be different than that vision, that intention once it has been realized. Otherwise, we would have already met that intention and wouldn't need to carry it, right? It would be integrated already. So there is, in material reality, this gap between where we are and where we want to be. In unitive reality, you know, in that non-dualist perspective, there are no gaps, all things are one. So we're trying to leverage that a little bit through our samkalpa, but here in material reality, yep, this is where we are and where we want to go. So as we work through part 1 of Yoga for the Creative Soul, what we find is that there are defined obstacles. So here, you want to be here, but there's stuff in the middle. And the Yoga Sutras take a bit of time to very clearly define those obstacles for us. And the primary obstacle is straight up forgetting or not knowing. Avidya, where vidya is realized knowledge, is integrated. Avidya, a means not in Sanskrit, that prefix means it's not that. Avidya is not knowing. And in that not knowing space, there are opportunities for us to gain realized knowledge. And here in material reality, we gain that knowledge by working on it. Getting support, talking to our friends, getting counseling or spiritual coaching, listening to our bodies more, noticing patterns, journaling, expressive arts, prayer, meditation, yoga practice itself. There's lots of ways to remove the obstacles and close the distance between where we are and where we want to be. But here in your expressive form, take a moment and depict the obstacles that are standing between you and that realization of your intention, that goal being met and integrated, that intent living vitally within you. And a lot of the time, we find it challenging to name specific obstacles, although there might be very specific material things. A lot of the time, it's more of a sense, a feeling, an internalized pattern. And you can depict these symbolically. You can depict them with colors, with scribbles, with, you know, if you're using sound, it doesn't need to be words, can be depicted with pitches and grunts. If you're using movement, find an embodied way of conveying what is standing between you and that realization of the intention. Depict the obstacles. What's in the way? Good stuff. You can flesh that out a little bit more later if that's useful. Sometimes it is very useful to identify what's in the way and really get a sense of what we're dealing with. And for now, thinking about where we are, where we're headed, the obstacles in the way, the ignorance, the forgetting, the blockages, avidya. What very simple reminder can you give yourself that will begin to chip away at that obstacle of forgetting? How can you remind yourself And what I'm asking you to find or depict here is something that strengthens the connection between current self and future self. Is that an image, a quote, a prayer, a song lyric? Is that a color? Is that a shape in your body? Is that a sound? Did I say affirmation, mantra? What is it? What is it? And even right now, you can play with that as you're finding the thing that builds the bridge, that keeps you reminded of the connection between who you are now and who you are becoming. Form that in your body or with your breath. Give it a somatic sense also. This can be a mudra, just a shape of the hands, or this can be something you do with your arms or legs. This can be a certain place in you that you flex, expression on the face. But give it not only expressive depiction, as you're carrying forth with your expressive arts practice here right now, but also put it in your mind, breath, and body. Give it many homes within you, this reminder, this practice of vidya, awareness, realized knowledge. The idea is that as you carry forth over the week to come, each day you create space to look at your depiction of your future self and revisit that samkalpa, that whole framework. And you in some way make that reminder vital. Repeat the mantra, create the shape in your body, take the breath. For those of you who are committed to a daily creative practice, the recommendation is each day to work with this, to draw your future self, to sing the obstacles away, to depict the bridge between where you are and where you're going. And know that moment by moment, that future self is moving closer to current reality. This can happen very quickly. You know, the Upanishads say that enlightenment is continually imminent. It's just right there, always right there. And as we keep this samkalpa vital, as we pay attention to our heartfelt intentions, they take up more and more space within us and in our lives. If you're looking for support in vitalizing these intentions and removing obstacles and taking the action steps that bring this into true reality for you, reach out to me. I am here to help. Keep coming to the gatherings. Post in the group. Post your expressive works in the group, videos of your dances and songs, photos of your sculptures and drawings. If you want to get into the energy of things a little bit more, energetically creating health, the registration is open for the Pranavayus workshop that's happening at the end of March, and I'll just put the link to registration there in the chat. But all questions are welcome, whether you've attended live or whether you're doing the recording. And those of you, thank you for those of you who play in the recordings. Thank you for the posts that you've done. So that is knitting us ever more tightly together as a community. There's something very powerful, not only about magnetizing our own intentions by doing what we said we're going to do this week and keep that bridge building vital, But when we share our intentions with others, their thought energy gathers with ours, magnetizes them even more. So we're not holding these intentions by ourselves, but the community is holding the intention with us. So I do thank you very much, whether live and in person or whether watching the recording, for being a part of this community, for taking care of yourself and creating more of the pure and true life that is your birthright. Let me know how it's going. Thank you.